Hello, boys and girls. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for me and a punk motherfucker and feel the power. You listen to the New Daye podcast.
That intro was terrible. Do it over again.
No. Because you've been giving me shit for no reason. And I figured since it's been 2 weeks since we've actually spoke, I figure I'll lay it in real nice and thick, you know, without pissing you off, but just to let you know.
No, I'm saying you, you like stuttered when you did that intro.
Well, I stutter sometimes.
Okay.
Well, I stuttered because I was like, am I going to call him a punk motherfucker or not?
Oh, you're just mad because I keep telling you that your show don't matter.
Well, I'm only mad because
Smackdown.
Because you're unnecessary. You're out of line. You're completely yellow flags on the play, personal foul. It's a personal foul. 15 yards. First down.
Lame.
All right, I'm lame, all right. So, I'm tired, all right? So
I can tell.
So
you're not making any sense.
I'm making all the sense. I'm just letting you know that I've been, you know.
I'm tired.
I am tired, motherfucker.
I'm tired.
I work. And I'm going to do this. We're going to get through this, okay? I'm just saying. We're going to get through this.
Yeah.
And normally we're due like best and worst, but I'm going to skip that shit this week because it's been 2 weeks and we all know everything that's gone up in the past week or so, starting with Survivor Series, moving into Thanksgiving and all of that riffraff. There's a shit ton to talk about, a shit ton, and I want to do at least a shotgun show touching on everything that I've consumed, unless you had some things that you wanted to bring up.
No, I'm good. So
all right.
We'll just go with what you want to talk about.
So let's talk about this straight off the jump because I want to get it in and get it out the way. First, how was your Thanksgiving, bro?
It was good. I worked from 9 to 1, came home, ate some food, and hopped on the scale the next day, and I lost 5 pounds. So. Oh,
wow.
Yeah. And then I hopped on the scale again today, and I lost another 2 pounds, so I'm down to 199.
How the hell are you losing all of this weight when you're full of shit?
I have a secret, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
What are you, a robot?
I wish.
I got a secret.
No, I used to weigh like 220 pounds, and then I got down to 187 in like a month. And I didn't know why, and then I figured it out. So that's what I've been doing ever since. So
is this like some grand, crazy?
No,
you slacker?
No, pills that, I used to have vertigo, meaning that I was dizzy like all the time. So I would take ginger root to combat the dizziness, and I was overdoing it. And if you overdo it, you lose weight like crazy because it speeds up your metabolism. And I didn't know that. So you're only supposed to take like 2 a day if you're taking it at all. And I was taking like 6 because I was so miserable, and that's how I lost all the weight. So every time I need to lose weight, I just up my intake.
Is that healthy?
Probably not, but I don't give a shit.
All right. Well, I'm thinking if you're doing that, you are, in fact, giving a shit.
No.
No? It doesn't work that way?
No.
Well, I'll be. You learn something new every day.
I don't want to talk about fecal matter on a podcast, so.
You don't want talking about weight loss. I'm thinking, like, is that how the shit works?
Because you're shitting all the time? No.
No, because you're full of shit. That's what I'm saying.
You suck.
So did you spend time with family and shit?
I did. After my shift, I came home and ate dinner with my family, and then watched all the football games, and then I think I watched Smackdown, and that was about it.
Yeah, so you're starting to watch Smackdown.
Well, I watch it on DVR every week, but I watched it live this week because I was home, and then I wanted to kill myself because watching SmackDown live is brutal.
Because of the commercials, but it wasn't that bad of a show. It was not a bad show. It was not a bad show.
Yeah, it was. It was awful.
I mean,
Two hours of wasted time.
Okay. It wasn't Raw bad. It was bad, but it wasn't Monday Night Raw bad. And that
you're right. It was worse.
No, it wasn't worse. You're just being an asshole right now. So yeah, I just spent Thanksgiving, what we call Friendsgiving, over down the road from me. A couple of people who are from out of town who are here. Just like, yo, fuck it. You know, rather than have to drive hours and hours and go somewhere in other states, just stick around here and just eat food as friends. And
sure.
But the only thing that was wrong is that we ended up eating extremely late. They actually cooked that day, so we didn't start eating until maybe, I would say, even 8 o'clock or so.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So I ate, and I had dessert, and I became like a slug. And I got a ride home, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm just going to go out, post-Thanksgiving dinner. I went right to bed around 10 o'clock.
See, that's what I did after I got done eating and all that crap. So
yeah, it was made.
I watched SmackDown, and then I went on the internet for about a half hour, and then I went to sleep.
Yeah, I think I watched the rest of the football game, tried to watch some Pacers, and then I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going back out. So I ended up getting like 13 hours of sleep. So that
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that was good. That was awesome.
I got like 10, but that's freaking insane.
It's like 12.
Normally, though, I get 2 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
So.
I felt pretty sluggish. I mean, either way, it was needed. It was definitely needed. So, without further ado, and plus, I still haven't had a cigarette since my birthday, so that was definitely something. So let's go ahead and kick off. What is this episode? What 19?
I can go look. You're supposed to know this stuff.
I know,
we even start recording.
I know.
You're dropping the ball.
Yeah. Don't hold it against me.
I will hold it against you.
Like your body?
No. This is episode 18.
18? Episode 18. We're going to start off because I guess we'll make it real quick. I may as well start off with TNA.
What's that?
I know, right? Well, I mean, it's huge news. Regardless if you like the promotion or not, it's the little wrestling promotion that won't die. They just got dropped by Destination America going into January, and somehow, some way, that pesky Dixie Carter and her cronies found a new home for Impact Wrestling, and it's called Pop. So, do you know anything?
Yeah, the former TV Guide channel.
Okay, you tell me more about this, because I didn't get to do it.
The Pop Network used to be the TV Guide channel. Now they switched over to the Pop Network. I don't know what the Pop Network is. That's the only thing I know about it, is that it used to be the TV Guide channel. So it's a pretty much a new network that they are doing. So my guess is they're picking up TNA in order to get content, and they probably don't care about the ratings. Because
they probably do care about the ratings.
I doubt it, because Pop TV, it is accessible on basic cable, so that's a good thing for TNA.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the problem is that it's like channel 96, so it's like way up there in your cable package.
Yeah, it's like, is it the same station where they have like the list of shows that's going on? Yeah.
TV Guide channel.
Oh, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, so
former TV Guide channel.
So this wrestling is going to be going on while they're showing the guide.
Not necessarily, because I don't think TV Guide network is a thing anymore because it's now Pop TV. So I mean, I'd have.
I see now. I see. I follow.
Like, I think Pop TV completely took over the TV Guide channel. So, but that's the way it used to be. Like, they'd air like normal shows on that channel, and you would have to watch it with a guide scrolling at the bottom, and it was extremely annoying.
Do you know of any other content on there right now?
I have no idea.
Because I'm thinking ratings. Because I say they probably care about ratings because even if they get 700,000, 500,000 eyes, that's more eyes they get in any one swoop.
They won't even get 300,000.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's in more homes. TNA still has a fanship. I mean, I don't want them necessarily to go out of business. I mean, I'm not sitting here rooting for them to, go down. I only wish that Dixie Carter didn't run it. That's my take. I
wish Dixie Carter didn't run it, and I wish half the idiots running it didn't run it because they're all idiots.
I wish they would just hand that fucker over to someone else who knows how to manage a wrestling promotion or any kind of fucking promotion at all, and just have just pay them out. It's like, all right, we're gonna take this, transform it into something else, make sure the people on that roster keep jobs, bring in new talent, and have them do some shit. Because just recently, I just heard that they were doing like an India tour that they just found out last second that it was canceled. It's like, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, you don't need somebody like that owning and running anything, especially when someone else's livelihood is at stake.
Yeah, I don't know. Just an FYI, though, we were talking about the Pop Network. It is channel 127 on basic cable, and I turned it on, and the That 70s Show was on, and so they show a bunch of old stuff, and then like later, The Young and the Restless comes on. So sweet. Yeah, it's a weird network.
Yeah, it sounds like Viacom. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it sounds like CBS. So I guess best of luck with them in that thing. Did you see that one EC3 photo that he took outside of the TNA office, just like
no
Finn Balor? So he
because if it's like I said, if it's TNA, I have no knowledge of it because
it was a photo that was floating around online, and it was just like the Finn Balor one when he's standing outside doing the cross chop. EC3's doing the same thing as like, I feel you, Finn Balor. That's the tweet. So ain't no telling what the hell's going on over there.
I hate that shit.
Even with the new I hate it for the talent.
I hate it for the fact that they had that Finn Balor. They took that picture of Finn Balor and then EC3's copying it. It's like, well, I like EC3. Don't get me wrong, but that is just stupid because it's like they're taking it from something else. And TNA, in their entire existence, which has been, June 19th, 2002, so that was 13 years ago.
Yeah, longer than fucking WCW.
Yeah, so they've been in existence for 13 years, and 13 years they haven't had one original idea.
Well, no. Don't get it wrong. I don't think EC3 did this to like copy. He was expressing his displeasure of his own workspace. That's what that was.
Oh.
He was cross-chopping TNA. And he said, I feel you, Finn Balor.
Oh,
like,
okay.
fuck this place, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this place sucks. So, again, there's
people
some
doing
shit.
crotch chops in 2015 there's no place for that though.
Well, there's cross chops necessary to express how much your work environment sucks. You know, I thought it was pretty petty for Finn Balor to do it, and if I was like Triple H or like, you know what I'm saying, like any of those guys over at NXT, whether it's Regal or the other guys from fucking Breaking Ground, I would have fucking reprimanded him for that. It's like, dude, these guys don't exist. Fuck them. We got a guy. I saw that Samoa Joe. Table for Three is like Samoa Joe. Who else was on that same one?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Well, anyway, he was on, and it was Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan. Not Daniel Bryan. It was somebody else. You know what? It's irrelevant. But he's talking. He's like, well, where you guys come from? And he's talking. He's like, well, I did some time in Japan, and I did the Indies, and then I ended up in NXT. Like, TNA did not exist. He didn't even mention it.
Well, yeah, but I think he subtly did because he mentioned Indies. TNA is an indie. It always has been, and it always will be.
Nah, I mean, I understand
and
that.
And
it is indie.
At one point, it had Hulk Hogan, but it was still an indie.
Yeah, but I still feel like it was somewhat of a significant. It had a significant presence enough to be acknowledged. You know,
but it's still an indie.
Oh, but he's still in WWE, and they're like, fuck them. So, I mean, I don't hold it against him. Yeah. I'm just letting him know. I'm just saying in general for Finn Balor to sort of step out of his own bounds, right? To go over to a competing promotion, stand in front of them, give them fucking like, internet service, by everyone clicking and looking at it. It's like, dude, for years, we've tried to ignore these fucks, and you
know what really is the difference between WWE and TNA? WWE, okay, when WCW and WWE or WWF back then were going at it, WCW would constantly acknowledge WWF.
Of course.
WWF never acknowledged WCW, and meanwhile you've got WWE and TNA. WWE has never once acknowledged TNA, and TNA all the time will acknowledge WWE. Even on their programming, they'll have Mike Tenay do it, saying so-and-so is a former WWE Cruiserweight champion, this, that, and the other. And I hate that because it's acknowledging what... Someone pointed this out to me on Twitter a while ago, back when I watched TNA and when I actually cared about it. But someone pointed out, well, it's like, if they accomplished it, why wouldn't they mention it? And it's like, well, because they're openly mentioning WWE, which is their competition. They're so concerned about WWE, they're not concerned with themselves, and that's why they're in the position that they're in.
Yeah, they're like little brother trying to get big brother's attention. Exactly,
and anytime you mention, it's like they want to be, okay, technically, at one time they were the second biggest company in America. Right now I'd put ROH in that spot. But even when they were the second biggest company, it's like, if you're the second biggest company, you don't mention anyone else. Yeah. You don't mention ROH. You don't mention WWE. Nobody. You're yourself. You need to worry about your own problems, and that's it.
Hell, you don't even mention WCW.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're
well, I suppose that's okay. Like, no. Or ECW if they're a defunct company, but you shouldn't mention an active company that's still open.
Well, I would say not to bring up WCW because it just lets the people know that you're like WCW Part 2. And you don't want to be WCW
that's
2.
True.
You want to be TNA. And, it was just like, they're so convoluted in their own fucking mess. They're swimming in their own mess. And again, I look at them. Congratulations for the spot. I think they'll probably do better than they did on Destination America, just for the simple fact that it is on basic cable. I just hope moving forward, because they don't get, what is it? I think it's January. They don't have any tapings, anything till January. So I hope that this works out for them. I mean, for the wrestlers.
Yeah.
And we ain't even talking about the involvement with Global Force, because they're going to be somehow tied in, but one can only tell. But that's our TNA talk for now.
The only one thing I just want to mention is that out of all the companies that they mention that are defunct or still going, the only company that they don't mention that they probably should mention is their predecessor, which was World Wrestling All-Stars. That's the only company that they have any right to mention, and they don't do it.
Well,
and not too many people would know what World Wrestling All-Stars even is.
I have no idea. But but we could talk about that later. Let's go ahead and move on. I think we talked about enough about TNA. Hello?
Yep.
Oh, okay. You want to just move on?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we're coming off WWE just coming off a really crappy, probably the crappiest pay-per-view or special event, WWE Network special event, I think known to ever exist. And that was Survivor Series.
Okay, you said WWE Network special event to ever exist. Would you say Survivor Series 2015 was worse or better than Survivor Series 2013?
2013, actually, even though, okay, I think the aftermath, 2013, okay, what was that? Team what versus Team who?
The only matches I remember from it were some guy took on the Shield, and then Daniel Bryan took on the Wyatt family. Or no, you know what it was? It was Daniel Bryan and some guy taking on, I believe it was the Wyatt family, and then...
That some guy had the belt too, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
I think he was the champion.
Have. But, and then Roman Reigns was in a Survivor Series match, and he was the sole survivor that year.
And it was the Legacy? Not Legacy, I want to call him Legacy. Evolution versus...
No.
No? What was it?
No, Evolution versus the Shield was like...
No, but who was it?
At Extreme Rules.
Okay.
Hold on.
It was, yeah. Are you looking up the card right now?
Well, I'm looking it up. Because it's gonna...
It wasn't memorable. I mean, it really wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I feel like they should just get rid of the Survivor Series altogether. Because if they're not going to put anything into it, you know, they actually took it off, and then like scrutiny came, and Vince was like, "All right, I'll put it back on." But like he puts no effort into it. And I feel like the last Survivor Series wasn't this one. That last Survivor Series, even though the payoff was like all fucked up, and later on they just made everything null and void, was last year's when Sting showed up, and then they ruined that.
Yeah. So it was, okay, these were the results of Survivor Series 2013. And this is, if you go and look at Wikipedia and some stuff on the internet, this is the lowest drawing pay-per-view of that year and of several years in WWE history. This pay-per-view did terrible numbers for them, and you'll see why. The Miz defeated Kofi Kingston in the first match. Match went 8:35. Then you had the Shield of Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns teaming with the Real Americans of Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger, defeating Cody Rhodes, Goldust, the Usos, and Rey Mysterio. Match went 23 minutes, 23 seconds. Then you had Big E Langston as the Intercontinental Champion, defeating and defending the title against Curtis Axel in a match that was 5 minutes and 56 seconds long.
I forgot he was Intercontinental Champ.
And then you had Team Total Divas of Natalya, the Bella Twins, Brie Bella, and Nikki Bella. The Funkadactyls, Naomi and Cameron, JoJo and Eva Marie defeated Team True Divas of AJ Lee, someone I've never heard of before, Tamina Snuka, Caitlyn, Alicia Fox, Summer Rae, Rosa Mendez, and Oksana.
And that was the last ring appearance by JoJo. That's the one thing.
And this match was way longer than it should be, and it was terrible, and Eva Marie sucked during it.
I just remember this was the last. That's the one thing I remember about this is that JoJo was in the ring, and she's in there with Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox damn near broke her in half with that. I guess that she dropped her back on her knee and some shit, and she like
backbreaker,
the backbreaker, and fucking just shoved her even further down after she put her down on it, like just broke her in half, and then just shoved her out of the ring. JoJo never got back into the ring ever again after that.
The only thing I remember about that match was Eva Marie and how awful and awkward she was. I didn't even watch this pay-per-view live. I didn't watch all the matches on this pay-per-view, but I did watch that match because I wanted to see how awful Eva Marie would do.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was going to be a given anyway, but I just felt bad for JoJo. Like, Fox ripped her ass. I was just like, that was completely unnecessary. She tried to fucking take her out, and she was successful. I just thought that was pretty fucking hilarious.
And then... Okay, so Mark Henry defeated Ryback in a singles match that went 4 minutes, 47 seconds. Then John Cena, defending the World Heavyweight title, which was still around for another month after this, defeated Alberto Del Rio in 1850. Then you had some guy in Daniel Bryan defeating the Wyatt family in 1651. And then you had, in the main event, Randy Orton as the WWE Champion defeating The Big Show. And that match went 11 minutes, 8 seconds.
Is that the one where they had to redo the RKO spot?
Yes.
They just completely fucked it up like it never happened. So it was like, all right, let's do it again. Boom. Oh, that was hilarious.
Something in this Wikipedia entry, it says the pay-per-view Survivor Series 2013 was the worst-selling edition of Survivor Series since the event's inception in 1987. This has been attributed to a weak build-up. The show has been cited as the worst Survivor Series in its history. That might be debatable now because of the 2015 Survivor Series.
Yeah.
It received 179,000 buys, down from 212,000 for the previous year's event, and attracted more than 100,000 fewer orders than the 2011 event, which generated 281,000 buys.
And just like, and that was the year that Vince let it go after that. Like, he actually took it off. And I remember talks about that being like, oh, no, they're taking away Survivor Series. Why did they take it away from Survivor Series? And I think under such public scrutiny from the fans and maybe even some like execs, you know, they were like, nah, let's give this another go. And then they did 2014. And it was, I mean, I enjoyed the show. I mean, actually, I didn't. I watched it with Jake and some of his family members at a bar, and I was actually ashamed. But Sting showed up, and Dolph Ziggler was the, sole survivor. And I was thinking, okay, maybe they can go somewhere with this. And they just, none of it mattered. None of it mattered at all. So I go, Hey, Vince, if you want to get rid of that motherfucker, go ahead. Just go ahead and do it. Make TLC the Thanksgiving tradition, Let's just let it go, because it seems that, out of mind, out of body, out of sight, out of fucking presence. Like, just if you don't care about it, I don't care about it. Just get the fuck rid of it. And then that transitioned over to Raw, which ended up becoming one of the lowest ratings. They went under 3 million viewers.
Yeah.
For the whole show. And it really goes to show what's really going on with this fucking product. And in case of, what is it? The biggest beef with the WWE that I have is the fact that it's no longer wrestler driven, like who is not. It's not wrestlers selling out arenas. It's the brand selling out arenas, right? Let's go see WWE live. Not like let's go see Kofi Kingston and fucking John Cena and Randy Orton. Let's go see WWE live, and it's starting to really manifest itself into the fact that, like, if you're not building someone to be a draw, that fucking emblem is only going to get you but so far in terms of, I guess, getting bigger, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So you got all these injuries and this sabbatical and all this shit, and this guy's left with people that he should have been working on making stars way long before all this shit has gone down. And even on top of the fact with all these missing pieces and parts and with injuries and whatnot, he's still refusing to make new stars. He just outright refuses. With Sheamus as your world fucking champion, even though I rejoiced in my video only because for entertainment purposes, you know, I just wanted some sort of twist, and that was why I was so fucking excited, because the show was so crap that I had to stoop to such a low, basically. It's just mind blowing, and I don't see this getting any better. And this was like a crappy. That Monday Night Football was crappy, like. And even tonight's Raw, they better not use football as a fucking excuse, because it's the fucking Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Hey, there are more people going to be watching fucking Charlie Brown than the fucking football game, all right?
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, anyway, what do you have to say about this shit?
No, not much that you haven't really said already, but it's like they need to stop using everything else as an excuse as to why they're not doing things. Because they always say, oh, well, whenever they have a low rating, they're like, oh, it's because of this, it's because of this. It's like, no, it's because you guys don't know what you're doing anymore, and your owner and your boss is so out of touch that he is doing anymore either. Because there was a time where Vince McMahon knew exactly how to run a wrestling promotion.
Why? By giving the people what they want?
Yeah. Back in the 90s. And even, like, I'd say the early 2000s. But now we're so far from that it's not even funny. The Vince McMahon that was in charge of the WWE during the Monday Night Wars is a different Vince McMahon than the one we have now.
Where it's like, it's almost like we're the WWE machine and we're going to do these things and you're going to like it. And it's...
Yeah, because there's no alternative, so screw you.
But it's mind-blowing. I mean, anyone else, I would say anyone else but Vince will look at the landscape and be like, okay, they like this guy, they like this girl, they like this guy, they like this girl. Let's put them in these situations. Let's draw some attention to these people because the people are fucking excited about these people. It's like, no, they're excited about this person, so we're going to actually take them off TV. They're excited about this girl. When we actually do give her time, Sasha Banks, that is, and Becky Lynch, we're going to give them like 2 minutes, right? We're gonna put this guy that we actually know that no one wants to be fucking world champion. In case of emergency, break glass. Fucking Jake lost his shit last week. It kind of pissed me off. You know, he got real like high and mighty about the whole Sheamus thing. And I understand his grievance and I understand like his fucking frustration. But like, yeah, he does have a point. You know, like no one wants to see Sheamus as champion. But look who's our fucking champion, and it's crazy. Like, why can't
the weird thing is that it's kind of reminiscent of, and I'm going to say his name here, the CM Punk title reign, and the reason why is because when CM Punk was the champion, he wasn't main eventing pay-per-views. John Cena was. And now that Sheamus is your champion, he's not going to be main eventing pay-per-views.
That's what I was telling
Roman Reigns is.
That's what I was talking about in the last Peter and Jake. Like, yeah. It makes so much sense. Like, no, that if anything, you want Roman Reigns to fucking have that fucking belt, so he'll be the fuck out of the main event picture and be booked.
No, you do. Well, and booked. You do and you don't, because the way they look at it, the money is in the chase.
Yes.
The money's always in the chase for the face, and that's where this comes from. But the problem is that with Roman Reigns, I mean, when they were building John Cena, they knew exactly what they were building him as. Mm-hmm. They knew exactly what we wanted. They wanted us to see him as. Roman Reigns, they have so many issues with, and they're doing so many disservices to. Roman Reigns is a guy that I would like to like, but I just can't because one week they want him to be a badass. The next week they want you to sympathize with him, and it's just pick one and that's it.
But
and
how
then
about
that's what he needs to be, but it's like they're doing him no favors by giving him all these different character traits.
But how about this? How about he just can't fucking wrestle either? Mr. Kick, punch, slap, clothesline kick?
Yeah, he's worse than John Cena in that regard.
At least John...
He doesn't even have 5 moves. John Cena, at least you could say, oh, well, the internet would always say, oh, he's got 5 moves. 5 moves of doom. And 6 if you count the stunner that he was doing.
No, that's a minus.
Yeah, Roman Reigns has the spear, the Superman punch, and the drive-by, so that's 3.
No, but I ain't even considering those because he only hits those like once. I'm talking about like the entire match. If he's in an 18-minute match, all you see is a kick, a slap, a punch, a kick, a slap, and a clothesline.
He'd be the best Mortal Kombat character ever.
You think?
Yep.
It drives me crazy. It drives me absolutely fucking crazy. And it's like, well, that in itself is why it's hard to really give a shit. And he doesn't really tell a story in the ring. Now, I don't like the guy. I don't dislike the guy. I don't know the motherfucker. I'm just saying, man, like, if you're going to be put on that much of a pedestal, at least put a little more effort into diversifying your work rate just a little bit. Just tweak it a little bit. You're not The Rock. You're not Stone Cold. Those guys actually had a history before they started doing their kicks and punch and slaps. And then they had mastered what they'd done so well to where they could tell a story in the ring with those kicks and their punches and their slaps. And then sprinkle a little bit of wrestling in because in the end, it was all about them telling a story. In the rivalry, whether it was against each other or whoever the fuck they put in the ring with, to put over. You mean to tell me Hurricane Helms became an actual, like, relevant, person you could care for when he was in a fucking feud with The Rock? You know? The Rock could have only done that. Because he had personality. And he knew how to fucking manage a ring. Roman Reigns, you put that guy in there with, like, Stardust. Would you do that?
No. Definitely not, because I hate Stardust.
That's for another podcast. But you see what I'm saying, though, right? You took The Rock, Hollywood Rock. He's selling out movie theaters. He already has a history with the WWE, and he comes back and he has to be in a program with fucking Hurricane Helms.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, if I could make a proper relationship, a proper comparison, it would be Roman Reigns in a fucking feud with Stardust, and that would just be hideous. That's just well, anyway, and to the point that even did you read the Mick Foley post about him becoming an ex? He's slowly becoming an ex WWE fan.
No.
Well, anyway, he posted this thing on his Facebook, and I think he's getting probably going to get a lot of heat from it. But he made a post about how he's slowly becoming a WWE, less of a WWE fan, becoming an ex-WWE fan because the powers that be are fucking it up, basically. And he pointed out Sasha Banks.
What's funny about that whole thing is that he's becoming an ex-WWE fan, and then he had another thing where he talked about fans overtaking wrestling shows and hijacking wrestling shows, but yet for Thanksgiving dinner, he invited a guy into his house that dresses like a fucking clown and goes to wrestling shows. And that, I like Mick Foley, don't get me wrong, I've met him, he's a nice guy, but that is the true definition of the word hypocrite.
Well, it's one thing to take over a show, and it's one thing to go dressed in character. And that clown, I don't see.
But he doesn't even have a character.
No, well, I mean,
he's an idiot.
Well, if you've seen, if you've been to Comic Cons and fucking Rocky Horror Picture shows and Star Wars showings and shit like that, people dress up.
Yeah, and there's a lot better things to dress up as a half-assed, half face-painted ass clown.
Or is that clown like screaming and yelling, "This is awesome"?
Nobody's an idiot.
I'm just saying. Dude, when I watch NXT, I swear to God, I just put it on mute. Because I don't want to hear that shit. I would much rather see someone dressed up, having a good old time, just like the guy who dresses up as Jushin Thunder Liger on NXT. Not NXT, but sorry, ROH.
Ultra Liger?
Yeah. He's no different.
He's way different. He's a lot different.
He's dressed up for the occasion, man.
So what? He's not going on. The thing with Frank the Clown that I don't get is that, and I can't believe we're even talking about this, but here we are.
You brought it up,
it's my
bro.
fault because I brought it up.
Yeah.
His original thing was I had no problems with him prior to this, but there was a list of like the top 10 super fans that was published on WWE.com, and he got pissed off because he was not recognized on that list. And it's like, if you're so into yourself like that, you need to go fuck off.
Well, it's the only life they know. The only life he knows.
And he's an idiot, and he should reevaluate his entire life.
Maybe he just needs a life. I mean, it could be a little petty, but it's all about the small things. I mean, I imagine if they made another list and Brock Lesnar guy's not on there, he'd probably pitch as much of a fit.
Brock Lesnar guy was on there, though.
I know, but if he wasn't on there, I bet he would pitch as much of a fit.
Yeah, well...
They all would.
Probably.
I mean, a lot of them think they're the goddamn draw.
They all need to climb the highest bridge, hold hands, and jump off.
I just don't know how they're able to afford, or like, what are these guys? Are these guys like CEOs of like multi-million-dollar companies? Like, how the fuck do they end up at everywhere? Every front row, every time.
Rich parents.
Oh my God! Let me get some of that rich parents. So, moving from Mick Foley and his dislike for the WWE, and regardless, I mean, it's a bit of a stretch to call him a hypocrite by bringing in fucking Frank the Clown. But I still think if someone's gonna, it's one thing for me and you to like bitch and moan about like the state of the WWE, but then there's people like Stone Cold, and then there's people like Mick Foley, and then there's people like Jericho that can actually express themselves, and you know what? That will get the attention of Vince McMahon. That will get the attention of Dunn. It will get the attention of Michael P.S. Hayes and fucking Stephanie McMahon. And I swear to God, Stephanie McMahon dodges a lot of blame. I don't know why. She dodges a lot. But she's as much part of this whole debacle than Vince McMahon himself. Just so I'm just putting it out there to the listener. Not necessarily you. You probably already know.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Stephanie drives me nuts too.
And she's
because every time, I don't know if we talked about this, but you remember that one time she came out and she talked about like the Divas Revolution and all that crap.
I was never into it.
And she was basically trying to take credit for it. That pissed me off because she had nothing to do with it, and she's been doing that ever since. Where she tries to take credit for stuff that she has nothing to do with.
No, she needs to take credit for all the crap that's going on now. She probably decided that fucking Sheamus should be champion. She probably decided the fucking booking for Survivor Series. It's like she probably decided all this shit. Her and Vince sitting back and fucking masterminding the demise. Now,
well, I guarantee you it wasn't Triple H, because if it was, it would make sense.
Or I mean, he's still, he's following orders, but he gets some input too. I mean, he gets some input, but I would imagine, the two-headed monster is Vince and Stephanie. So let's talk about the recent firings and quickly firings and releases. Brad Maddox.
Who?
Brad Maddox. Beef mode.
Who?
Well, anyway, I was a big Brad Maddox fan. Well, anyway, he was on Superstars at a dark match on Superstars, which is like, god damn, that's beyond hell. Well, anyway, he said cocky pricks, and that was enough to get enough heat to get released.
Well, and that's good because he has never done anything.
I loved Brad Maddox. I thought
why? What is there to like about the guy?
It was sort of a dryness to him that I really enjoyed. Like, I could see his character like that was sort of sketched up as like a sort of Curb Your Enthusiasm type of character. Just a guy, like, just a real square. I
never watched that show.
Just a real dry. He's there just to be picked on. I don't know. I mean, I liked him. I think he had some.
He was a nobody.
Yeah, but he had some humor to him whenever he showed up that I always enjoyed. I always enjoyed it. I remember one time when I think I went to like a Smackdown taping or something at the Coliseum in Greensboro, and I'm with Terrence, and he comes out to no music. I lose my shit. I mean, absolutely. And if T.O. Polk is listening, he can vouch for it. I am going apeshit for this guy. And if you can, I went back to watch it, and you kind of hear me faintly in the background, like screaming, like, "Save us, Brad Maddox! Beef bone! Maddox!" Everyone's looking at me like I'm done lost my fucking mind. But I'm like, fuck this. This guy rules, and y'all don't even know it yet.
No, he doesn't. The guy's a loser.
And that's why I love him so much. And then Solomon Crowe, he asked for his release.
Yeah, and he's already the 2CW heavyweight champion.
I know, right?
Which is funny because 2CW is going out of business in a month.
That doesn't speak well for Crowe.
So why would they? Well, I think I know why they did it, because they want to put, whenever somebody gets released from WWE and then they go to an indie company, the indie company will always put, 9 times out of 10, puts a title on the former WWE guy because it draws money and it makes sense because people are going to want to see this former WWE guy.
The former NXT guy. This guy has no heat whatsoever, though.
Yeah, he does. On the indie scene, he does.
Oh, so he's hot right now. He's like Del Rio hot?
He is. Before he got signed, he was really hot. So, yeah, he's not that hot right now, but he'll get there in time.
You think so?
Yes.
I mean, I could totally understand why he left, though.
Yeah, because he was frustrated with the way things were going.
Oh, shit, you think?
And the fact that they used him in dark matches for 2 years, and it was a running joke that with the NXT crowd that nobody knew who Solomon Crowe was because he hadn't debuted yet. But the NXT crowd would act like they didn't know either because he'd been in dark matches for 2 years.
Oh, so that was okay, the running joke. Well, he debuted with he came out and fucked up. I remember when he debuted.
CJ Parker.
He tried to tape up the place. Like, he was like, "I'm holding this place like hostage or something," and he put like police tape all over the ring. And Solomon Crowe came in, and it was like back to your regular scheduled programming and some shit. And I was like, man, this guy has no chance.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't want to see the writing on the wall, but it was pretty much there.
I was wondering why they were jobbing him out, though. Like, I was like, but I still don't invest too much into NXT because I still see it as developmental, you know. So any and everything that happens down there, you got some people who are like sort of developing, and then you got some NXT actual storyline stuff that I think is contributing to their career moving forward, maybe up to the main roster. For instance, that fucking NXT Divas Championship match between Ava Marie and Bayley was a piece of fucking... It was a masterpiece. Now, I know how you feel about Ava Marie, and I know
Eva Marie,
Eva, whatever the fuck her name is. She's so much of a fucking botch. I botch her name.
She's a robot,
dude.
Sent from the future.
I'm telling you, man. When that storyline they gave her ass last Wednesday, but WWE corporate coming through and positioning her to get the belt, bringing in Lil Nate, having fucking Michael Cole. I thought that shit was fantastic.
So did I. It was the first time I was sitting there, and I'm like, I don't like Eva Marie. I think she's garbage, but this storyline is perfect.
It's perfect because
the fans hate her already. I mean, she couldn't even talk. So it's like there's a thing about like, X-Pac heat where people just want you to go away. But now it's like Eva Marie heat because they don't even want her to talk or do anything.
I tell you what, I guarantee you, anybody on the main roster in NXT, they would kill for that heat. I mean,
yeah,
she ain't even done nothing for it.
Well, and Bayley was quoted in an interview as saying that she loved the match with Eva Marie because of all the heat that she got.
Oh, that heat!
Yeah.
You ain't seen heat like that since fucking Vicky Guerrero, man. Like, dude, that is grade A, FDA, certified heat. And man, she ain't done much.
But I don't think it's going to translate that well once she gets called up to the main roster.
I think it's going to be awesome. I think she's going to be so fucking hated. I mean,
I disagree because the NXT crowd will respond differently than a Raw or SmackDown crowd.
I think a lot of the Raw SmackDown crowd knows too, because she was on Raw and SmackDown getting that same treatment, bro.
No, she wasn't getting a reaction back then.
It's going to work.
People didn't boo her out of the building like that.
It's going to work. And if they go along with this WWE corporate thing, you know what I see it as? I see Ava Marie and what they did down there last Wednesday is sort of a satirical story of what they're doing with Roman Reigns. I think it's like they're taking the Roman Reigns storyline and what Vince is doing with him, and I think Triple H is it's like satire. That's what Ava Marie is. Ava Marie is the Roman Reigns. And they're putting it out there. It's sort of insider sort of shit. And for Michael Cole to come down and the little Nate to come down, they're all in on the joke. They're all in on it.
Yeah.
And then for her to lose, it's just the icing on the cake. And I thought the match was good. Everything about it, from the involvement with fucking big girl. What's her name?
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax involvement, the bump that the first rep took. Nate even took a bump. He sold that bump like a motherfucker too. Just everything about it. The place was going crazy. And then you had that dude up front reading the book.
Yep. That was the highlight.
It was so good. You couldn't make a better fucking match. You couldn't. Because I'm sitting there, I never tweet about NXT. And I tweeted NXT. I was like, I put Jake and I was like, dude, this is awesome. This Ava Marie storyline is awesome. This is so badass. And I thought I was the only one because to a certain degree, I'm kind of being facetious. But then, in fact, it actually manifested into something that I really enjoyed. Not, being a smart ass or a jerk or anything. I was like, this is fucking great. And I hope they carry on with this. I hope they take this shit and really keep going with it. But not over the top, but just sprinkle everything here and there that people in corporate are behind her, and that anyone else is sort of they got to watch themselves around her because she is kind of the chosen one to a certain extent. I think that can really get more and more heat on her moving forward. And regardless of her wrestling in the ring, I just like seeing people get booed, just like raw heat. I'm so sick of seeing heels get cheered. I'm so fucking sick of it. I'm so fucking sick of it.
Yeah.
And speaking of NXT,
yeah, it's about time that heels can be heels and not be cheered, because a lot of the heels these days are, oh, I'm going to cheer them because they're cool. And that started with the NWO. Like, we have them to blame for that. And now we have the stupid Bullet Club running around 18 years later and all that crap. But in New Japan, but it's like, heels aren't supposed to be cool. They're supposed to be guys that you don't like.
But wasn't Diesel cool before NWO?
Diesel was never cool. His gimmick was Big Daddy Cool, but he was the lowest drawing champion in WWE history.
But he was sort of doing that whole I'm the cool heel guy, though.
Well, no, he was the cool face. Because he was a face in WWE.
Okay. So, speaking of NXT, I was scanning on my Instagram and I saw a post. And apparently Red Dragon is in discussion with NXT.
Okay.
I mean, I figured you would know about this.
No, I hadn't heard anything about it.
Nothing at all.
Nope.
So apparently
I don't read dirt sheets, bro.
Well, this wasn't a dirt sheet thing. This is just happened, like one of my Instagram thing that I follow. You know, he just gives like updates or what have you. And he wrote, he was like, you know, this is actually going on. This is something that's actually in the works. They haven't renewed their contract with ROH, and they're in fact scheduled to show up. And the first thing that I could think about out of it all, because I'm like, Bobby Fish is great, but this has nothing to do with Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
They want that white meat. They want that white meat, like that white meat, that Kyle O'Reilly. He got white meat written all over him, man. And his style and all of these things, if this whole Daniel Bryan doesn't work out, and I remember talking to you about this before, if there was one person that I felt that can step up, would be that one guy. I cannot think of his name. But he's from here. He's from North Carolina. He I think he's part of the tech, or what the hell is his name? They call him the Caveman.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's from
Is he in PWX?
Huh?
Is he in PWX?
He's at PWX and CWF.
Okay,
God, what is his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
They call him the Caveman because he has like he has a hair on his chest, but black trunks. Damn it, it'll hit me in a minute, I guess. Well, anyway, he could be a proper replacement for Daniel Bryan if it doesn't work out and all the concussion stuff. But Kyle O'Reilly, if they're already in discussions with Kyle O'Reilly, then he could definitely be another Daniel Bryan kind of guy. The
Carolina Caveman?
Carolina Caveman, yeah.
Ethan. Hold on. I saw it in here. I just can't freaking find out.
I should know his fucking name.
PWX.
Well, he's in
Ethan
PWG.
Case.
He's kicking ass at PWG too.
Yeah. Carolina Caveman Ethan Case is his name.
Ethan Case.
I watched an episode of PWX on YouTube last night, and he's really good.
Ethan Case. For some reason, I'm thinking of another name. Lee.
Trevor Lee?
Trevor fucking Lee. That's his name. That guy is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking if there was ever a person other than, say, again, not to repeat myself, but other than, say, Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know what the fuck's in my head right now. Is Trevor Lee? He's involved too, right?
Yeah.
Dude, they got so many guys, man.
And if he's in Evolve, there's a good chance that you might see him in NXT because Evolve and NXT apparently have a working relationship.
Man, I ain't gonna front, and there's no diss, but Trevor Lee, I know everyone likes Johnny Gargano. He's pretty cool, but I put Trevor Lee leaps and bounds beyond anything that Gargano can do in the ring. This guy's, you just have to watch some of his tape, man. This guy is so good. But anyway, I guess the point I'm making is, if Kyle O'Reilly gets in there, that guy has not. He will be given the opportunity to get his hands on that brass ring. I guarantee it. I would put him even over Finn Balor as someone who could be a potential like star, like a big star.
I wouldn't. There's a reason why too.
Why is that?
Kyle O'Reilly is a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. He has all the tools to make it in the industry. Don't get me wrong. He cannot cut a promo to save his life.
He sure fucking can't.
The only reason why he's surviving now is because of Bobby Fish. Because Bobby Fish in their Red Dragon promos does a lot of the talking for them, and Kyle O'Reilly doesn't have to talk. In like 2002, or not 2002, 2012, when like Ring of Honor or TV first started, Kyle O'Reilly, his wrestling hadn't fully developed yet, and his mic skills were not there. His mic skills have improved somewhat, but they're not there.
No, it's not believable worth a fuck.
What?
They're not it's not believable. His promo skills, like when he went in and had to face Jay Lethal for the world belt, that promo he cut before that was just depressing.
Yeah.
I was like, who are you talking to? You're obviously not talking to us. You're not trying to convince us of any fucking thing right now. Just shut up and get in the ring. Just talk with your fucking kicks, okay? And I think that's makes him even more white meat because he's not going to have to speak. Just get in there and fucking like just do some awesome stuff and then let your fucking wrestling talk for itself. Like he's one of those guys that don't have to talk. He doesn't have to have a valet either. You know? Just get in. Just have him get beat down and then somehow like overcome the obstacles and then like win, you know?
Yeah, but the difference is it's like you're comparing him, like you think he might be like a Daniel Bryan type, but he's a great wrestler. The difference is though is that like if they were to push him, and this is all hypothetical, that if they were to see something in Kyle O'Reilly and push him as like a Daniel Bryan type character, and make him a star, he would have to talk. And that's my only issue.
Sucks with promos too.
Bryan is a lot better than you might think. And if you watch his promo work from his ROH World Title run, say a lot different. Okay. Because his promo work and his wrestling work in 2000 or during his title run in 2005, 2006 were amazing.
All right. I mean, he shows flashes, but then there's sometimes he's so cynical, I guess. It comes off as kind of like he's kind of
Daniel Bryan is
snarky.
a better heel than a face.
Yeah, like he comes off as a snarky kind of guy. Like, you know, so his promos doesn't come off as good as I think they should be. But when he's worked up and he's angry, I'm like, yeah, I like that. This is pretty cool. But when
and I'd rather my personal preference is I like him as the snarky heel because it works for him.
Yeah. And just like his Table for Three when he was with Ryback, like he gave Ryback hell. Like he's a real asshole.
Like I didn't watch it, so
yeah. Like Ryback openly talks about Daniel Bryan being a complete asshole to him, and constantly ribbing him. And Bryan's like, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about." I mean, it's sad because you would think it'd be the other way around, being that, like, you know, feed me more big ass, mean ass Ryback.
Oh, yeah.
You don't fuck with him. Daniel Bryan made his life a complete hell to where he even talks about how he stopped riding with him.
That rules.
He stopped riding with Daniel Bryan because he was such an asshole to him all the time. And Daniel's like, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Toughen up. What are you talking about? Oh, it's worth watching just to see
That's
that,
funny.
just to see the relationship because, again, it's funny to see, you know, like, even when Ryback talks about it, he's absolutely miserable. Oh, God. So, and I guess the last thing to talk about, and plus, I hope Bobby Fish does something. Like, I hope they throw him a bone in that whole thing. You know, if they do bring them up, even though I know it's all going to go towards Kyle O'Reilly, I hope they give Bobby Fish something. Just give him something.
Well, if they bring them up as a tag team, then, or if they were to bring them in as a tag team, then they would have something there. But if Bobby Fish ever, if they ever split that tag team, Bobby Fish would be Marty Jannetty. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I hate saying that because Bobby Fish is a good wrestler in his own right, but awesome. He's a lot older than O'Reilly is. He's 38. He might be 39 now. So they might not even be looking at Bobby Fish.
Yeah, I know. This is date the little brother of the starting quarterback. You know, to get to the quarterback. Actually,
your analogies are so weird.
No, like,
you know that.
Well, no, like date the little brother to get to the fucking to the quarterback. That happened to my brother. Like, it's funny. I'm about to get. But
you have a brother?
I have two brothers. I'm the youngest of three.
That's scary.
And fucking, he was the man. The man. I mean, you heard of the man? You think Ric Flair's the fucking man? Timothy Daye was the fucking man. And he had everybody just wrapped around his fucking finger. And there were so many girls that were after him. And it was this one girl in particular that actually did that very thing to me. Like, used me to get closer to my brother. And I didn't even know it until I noticed, like, this one thing. I didn't even know they knew each other. And then I seen her hugging him, like, after, like, a really big loss. And I'm like, what the fuck is this all about? That's the same with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. And I feel like Bobby Fish is the little brother. Let's bring him in so we can get to the quarterback, you know, Kyle O'Reilly, and bring him up and make him into a star. Now, if he ever make it to the main roster, who could ever say? You know, like, again, he'll get Jannetty. But at least I could see him as an NXT champion.
O'Reilly?
No. I could see O'Reilly as not the NXT champion. I could see him being there to develop more to get to the main roster. And I can see Bobby Fish winning the NXT as a consolation prize.
See, I don't see that at all. I think if Kyle O'Reilly got signed into NXT, I think they would give him the NXT championship. And it's a real shame, like, in this situation. Like, NXT has a women's title, they have a tag title, they have a, I guess, for all intents and purposes, you'd call it a heavyweight title. But they need a mid-card singles championship. And that's the one issue that I've always ran into. And I mean, yeah, the roster isn't as bloated as, like, the main roster is, but they still could use it. And it feels weird that it's not there.
I think they could probably do without it for quite some time longer.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I just think it's something that they could do down the line.
When they officially get that developmental stench from off of them, then yes.
And that's never going to happen because they're always going to be the little brother of WWE.
Well, I mean, nothing wrong with being the little brother, but if you smell of development, it would be hard for me to take another championship serious.
Well, and it was like, I don't think it would really reek of development too much if, like, say NXT was not part of the WWE network. Like, if it was still a standalone thing on Hulu, I think it would be a lot different.
And Breaking Ground's not helping.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that.
I enjoy the show.
But what, Breaking Ground?
No, I don't mind it.
I do too, but it kind of exposes everything.
Oh yeah, welcome to the reality era.
It should be called Breaking Kayfabe.
Breaking Kayfabe. You're right. That's Yep. That's I think that was probably the first name of it, and I think somebody was like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Damn it. Yeah.
So the last thing I want to talk about is they finally aired Strong winning the TV belt off of Jay Lethal. Did you get to watch that match? I need to go.
Did I get to watch it?
Yeah.
I got to watch it. I did not get to review it for EyesOnTheRing.com. And the reason why is because ROH comes on super late here now. So, comes on at 11, gets over at midnight. By the time...
On what day?
Saturday night. So by the time it's over, I usually don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But I thought that match was excellent.
I need to watch it. I really need to watch it. I saw where I DJ at, like, we had the CW on. Like, the bartender who knows I'm a huge wrestling fan, he was like, dude, I'm going to just put this on for you. And I was like, dude, I'm DJing, man. I got to get back to those decks. What the fuck is your problem? But they showed the ending too. They didn't show the whole match. They just showed like the Roderick Strong flurry into the.
Yeah, they showed the highlights.
Yeah,
because it was not last week; it was the week before that it happened. Because I reviewed this last Saturday's show. I just didn't review the one before that.
So he's the TV champ, ending a 500 and what? No, 300. How many
I'm not sure how long it was. He's the longest reigning TV champion in ROH history.
More than a year.
Yes. When they first started announcing the length of his title run, it was at 9 months, and that was a few months ago.
So he's just under a year.
No, he's over a year.
So I thought I heard the number 500 days.
No, not even close.
Okay, 300.
Yeah, because I said a year. There's 365 days in a year.
So he's more than 365. No, I'm trying to figure out, like, has he held it longer than a year?
He won it. Okay. April? He won it at Supercard of Honor on April 4th, 2014. He lost it on October 23rd, 2015. So he held it for 1 year
and 7 months
and 6 months, a year and a half.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
567 days.
Do you think that's good that he doesn't have that now? You think it's good for Strong to have that belt?
Yes and no. I mean, it doesn't really do anything for Strong because why would he go for why would he be the TV champion and not want the world title?
Because he had his opportunity to win the world championship and he dropped the ball.
Well, he's got a legit claim against getting a world title match now because he's already beaten the champion.
But do you think he got a world championship caliber match out of going after the TV title? Because you see what I'm getting here.
You're asking if that TV title match was world championship caliber?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Well, I mean, in the eyes, I'm total kayfabe right now.
Yeah, I do. I think their 30-minute Broadway might have been a little bit better, but I thought the match with the title change was really good.
All right. Did Lethal Cena that TV title?
What does that mean?
Well, that U.S. belt don't mean shit. It meant shit with Cena, but it never was really about the belt. It was about Cena. is that TV title to Roderick Strong. That TV title to Jay Lethal. Like,
no, that analogy doesn't even make sense. That comparison doesn't make sense.
But you see what I'm saying, though, right? So
no, I don't, because Jay Lethal had the TV title before he was ever world champion.
I know this.
So that comparison doesn't make any sense.
I'm not making a comparison. I'm trying to draw a little bit of a comparison to the fact does that TV belt mean anything now on Roderick Strong?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
Yeah, because he pinned the guy who couldn't be pinned for a year and a half.
All right.
So, of course it does.
So, all right. I'm just making sure. I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm just trying to figure out because I'm thinking.
Who else would you have put it on?
Well, it doesn't matter about who's is being put on. I'm all worried about that is coming off of Jay Lethal.
But Jay Lethal still has the richest prize in the pro wrestling industry.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I just felt like he made it. It felt like he made that belt hella relevant.
He did, and Roderick Strong will continue to make it relevant.
Let's hope so.
Because this is his second reign with that title.
I didn't like Roderick Strong at first. He's coming around. He's definitely come around to me.
He's always been good.
Yeah, I remember one time burying his ass on Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. Like, fuck him. Especially when he won the PWG World Belt from Kyle O'Reilly. I was so pissed off. I was like, fuck him. But, like, I've gotten to see more of his work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a huge fan of that guy now.
Yeah, he's always been good. He never has a bad match. And he is in my... As of right now, he is in my match of the year.
Oh, stop with the match of the year stuff.
I'm just saying.
If you're going to talk match of the... Ain't nothing still compares. Nothing compares to that Jay Lethal, Jay Briscoe match.
Yeah, something does.
And what's
Roderick Strong versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, War of the Worlds Night 2. That match blows the match you just mentioned completely out of the water.
Was it Tanahashi or Nakamura?
It was Tanahashi. He wrestled Nakamura and he wrestled Tanahashi. I'm talking about the match with Tanahashi.
Okay.
Best match of the year.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. It's all so
I will
arbitrary.
fight anyone who tells me different.
And lose.
Nope.
All right, Mr. Big Fight Man over
By the
there.
way, speaking of Nakamura, he is coming to Vegas for the 14th anniversary show next year, and I will be there live.
Oh, snap. When is this?
It's February 27th, 28th of next year. They're doing the 27th is the 14th anniversary. The 28th is a national TV taping.
I might have to save up some cash.
I already got enough cash to go, so I already bought my ticket. I just need to figure out how I'm getting out there.
Stick that thumb out, dude.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. Just ROH or bust. Vegas.
Yep.
Who was that? What was that promo that Mick Foley cut about like getting picked up by like a trucker? What was that trucker's name?
I don't know.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. You know the promo I'm talking about, though, right?
The one where he hitchhiked to Madison Square Garden?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. He did it from Long Island, but he never mentioned a name.
It was sort of like, it was basically a gimmick name that he gave.
I can't remember.
God damn it. Someone has to remember it.
You remember the most weirdest shit.
Maybe I do. And right now I'm about to remember that this show is a wrap. Go and get your plugs in.
You can follow me on Twitter at Headliner5. You can follow Eyes on the Ring at Eyes on the Ring. Go to eyesonthering.com. I put up a review of this last Saturday's ROH TV show. Listen to Eyes on the Ring via blogtalkradio.com/Elite Podcast Net. Follow Elite Podcast Network at Elite Podcast Net on Twitter. We had PWX owner Connor Brewski on last night to talk about some upcoming shows and whatnot, so be sure to check PWX out in the Carolina area.
Yeah, I'm right up. And, it's right in my wheelhouse, bro.
Yep, and I just found out that they put all their episodes on YouTube, so I've been watching those like crazy because I need something different when WWE is so goddamn boring. But what else? Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Eyes on the Ring, and that is about it. Kita is now a official member of Eyes on the Ring. So, because she's called in a few of her shows, and we made her a member, so she's now in with the Eyes on the Ring and the Peter Talks Stuff family. So
Peter Talks Stuff.
I didn't know what to call it, so that's just what I settled on. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, she's probably listening now. Well, kudos, Kita. Way to strong arm yourself into the family.
Yep, and True God Immortal enjoys making fun of her more than he makes fun of me, so that's good for me, I guess.
Oh, so she's taking your slack now?
Yep.
God almighty. Well, check this out. For those that are listening, thank you again for checking out the New Day podcast. We're in episode 18.
Correct. I just told you the number and you already forgot?
No, I just said it, so I didn't forget it.
Okay.
So
it sounded like you said it with an upward inflection, so it sounded like you were asking a question.
So thank you for listening to episode 18 of the New Day podcast. This is one of 4 things you can get by checking out PJTW Central thingies, stuff, as what Nathan calls it. So you get YouTube only. You get YouTube only Peter's Raw recap, along with the New Day podcast on Monday. You get this on both YouTube and all the radio stuff, Stitcher, iTunes, podcast, Medium, SoundCloud, whatever. And then you have Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. Then you have Peter Talks Smackdown. And shut your fucking mouth. Next week, hopefully...
Your show don't matter.
Huh? Shut up. Shut up, dude. Nick Kettles. I think his name is Nick Kettles. Nick Kettles. He's a guy. He does like a wrestling podcast, and not too long ago he cut a promo on DeAndre Jordan not coming to the Mavericks. He cut like this crazy promo that was on Bleacher Report and all that stuff. Well, anyway, he has his own wrestling podcast, and we've been back and forth about getting him on this for quite some time. Apparently, he does his thing, his network. He gets like 15,000 listens a week on his network that he does his shit on. So it's going to be pretty cool to have a post-Raw conversation with him. So that's going to be both on, not just exclusively on YouTube. That's going to be on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Podbean, and SoundCloud as well. So looking forward to that.
One of these weeks, I was just going to mention this to you and throw this idea out. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you before. We need to get like everybody from Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, I guess the PJTW Central conglomerate, and we all need to sit down and do a podcast together.
Yes, we do. Well, it's just me and Jake. And Jake only comes in for Peter and Jake, and that's it.
Well, Jake, me, you, Jake, Keita, and maybe Alexa if she wants to come on, but at least the 4 of us.
Alexa's nowhere to be found, dude.
Oh, really?
She's MIA, man. I think the Wyatts got her.
That sucks.
It does. Like, right now, the only thing I saw was she was in Miami. She went and saw Hall & Oates. Via Snapchat.
Oh.
And I love Hall & Oates. Well, anyway.
Did you... I was going to mention before we hop off the air, because this news just broke. Did you hear about the Tomoaki Hamna news that just broke?
Hamna?
Yeah.
Who is
Hanma?
Oh, the dude with the
From
headbutts.
Newspan.
The headbutt
Yeah.
guy.
He's a woman beater.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Or I think his wife or whatever is claiming domestic abuse, so who knows what's going to happen there.
This is just breaking news now?
Yes.
She's being accused online right now as being a wife.
Well, it's coming out now that he did this over like a certain period of time.
Well, I'll be damned.
So it's just getting out now.
He's total white meat baby face as well. Like I love him so much. Oh,
yeah, he's
man.
got the greatest voice in the history of voices.
God, it's like Tom Waits is mad at that motherfucker.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any vocal cords.
God almighty. Tom Waits is like, I want to sound like that guy. Oh, man. That sucks. Well, let's just play it out. Let's see what, let it play out and see what the fuck happened. Whatever, man. You don't want to hear that news.
Hopefully he doesn't end up like Jimmy Snuka.
Well, I mean, he killed the motherfucker.
Not yet.
Oh, stop it. Well, again, if you're listening, comment. Add us on Twitter. Again, his is Headliner5, the number 5. Mine is PJTW Central. Leave a comment below. Subscribe. Throw us between us and Eyes on the Ring. Put us in your favorites. And share. Sharing is caring. You got any last words, bro?
No, but I do have a question. So you're not doing the Ellen Japanese Twitter anymore?
I hardly ever use it. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I use it. I mean, it's mostly like the stuff that I link from my Instagram, but like, it's like taking a piss in the dark, man.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I got it.
I've never done that, so yeah.
It's like I hate it. I mean, I'm not a fan of like interacting, just pure. The only thing that my Ellen Japanese account is good for is to contacting other Pacer fans. Like, I got some Pacer homies. Whenever basketball season rolls around, and I get in touch with them.
Pacers have fans. That's news to me.
Hey, you shut your mouth. And that's your last word. All right, guys. Episode 18. Watch out for those foreign objects, motherfuckers.
And Smackdown don't matter.
Oh, whatever. You had to say that, didn't you? Stop it.